What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we've got a Shirogorov Astrum. This is a remarkable knife. I bought this because of, I sold a knife and decided, put that money back into another knife. That's usually what I do. I'm not spending money on knives because we just moved right now, but I will sell a knife and buy another knife when I want to try it. And this I bought because of Bladezilla. He named this the Knife of the Year last year for himself, and I completely understand that. And I will say that it probably is one of my favorite acquisitions in a long time. It's really that good. So Shirogorov Astrum in obviously titanium with a inset lock, which is really excellent, and this blade that is deceptively absolutely massive. So this knife in pictures and in actually even in your hand looks kind of like this, dainty gentleman's knife. And it is, but it has this little secret, and that is that the blade is 4 inches long. It's remarkable. The ability for Shirogorov to fit the amount of blade that they do in a knife is shocking. Every time I handle a Shiro and I feel the handle, I expect a knife size when the blade comes out, and I do not get that knife size. I get, a half inch longer. This knife in hand, when it's folded up, does not look like a huge knife. I mean, look at it. I showed you the pair two next to it. They're like the same size handle, but this has like a half inch more of blade. It's just under 4 inches according to them. And it is absolutely remarkable. The way that they're able to do that is that they fit. Do you see this? Do you see how far that blade goes out into the handle? It actually overextends the back of the handle a little bit. So they built this backspacer so you don't cut your finger or catch yourself with the tip of that blade. So it's in M390, super, great slicey M390. It's got thin blade stock. This is in the MRBS, so multi-row bearing system, and it is the inset lock, like I said. It uses, of course, the quote-unquote Shirogorov proprietary hardware, which is just a big screwdriver. Don't use a big screwdriver on that. Well, you can, but just make sure it's padded if you're going to do that. It's got a hidden hardware pocket clip, which I think looks really good, and it functions extremely well, which I'm snobby about pocket clips. And it's got a bunch of little milling details that I just think are awesome and kind of really add to the knife, but aren't noticeable until you're really looking at it. So one of those details that I really enjoy are these little, dremeled out holes that run along where the flipper tab is. From left to right, they're a decreasing size. So I think that's a really neat little detail. It's got kind of this flaring, dip into the scale here, which does have some texture, not any crazy texture, but it adds kind of a 3D element to the scale. Backspacer, which is a geared backspacer, and actually a floating backspacer, which is really neat. And then the lanyard hole. I don't mind the lanyard hole. I used to be a lanyard guy, not much anymore, but I think it actually matches the aesthetic of the knife. It does not detract from it, absolutely. As I hit the table, to totally cut the table there. Anyways, I'm working under a camera. It's got this smaller flipper tab. Shears seem to have a little bit of a taller flipper tab usually, but I like this flipper tab. It's much more of a light switch flipper tab than the other ones where you pull down instead of push down. But that's also because of the location of the flipper opposed to the pivot. It's all about the leverage piece. So I think it is just a gorgeous knife. I'm really enjoying carrying it. It disappears in the pocket. It's massive, and it's fun to carry a knife that carries small but is a significantly large knife. And I've been carrying it and using it quite a bit. You can see some marks on the blade from me using it, and it's been truly a pleasure. The other thing that makes it super carryable is this knife actually weighs 3.8 ounces, which defeats, it's a 4-inch blade, defeats the ounce per inch by a lot. And that's remarkable. I mean, I have much smaller blades that weigh a significant amount more. I mean, I just filmed the Vandermeulen video, but this is like a 7.5 ounce blade, and the size of them, I mean, it looks bigger, but it's chunkier. But you know, the actual blade length on the Vandermeulen is significantly shorter. Obviously, much bigger knife. But just as a comparison, this weighs twice what this weighs. And that's because it's thin, but also because it's extremely milled out on the inside, which you can kind of see there. I've recently become a convert to flipper knives. In the past, I was kind of a hater. But when you have a flipper knife, it's great because there's no anything in the cutting path. It's got this little cockpit window type thing, which I think looks great. I just think this is a fantastic EDC knife. They haven't grown in popularity quite yet. They're a pretty new release, so I'm sure it will. But it is a knife that is just remarkable. The details are beautiful. Everything about it is, you know, one of those things that is a marveling engineering, engineering marvel. And I think that Shirogorov really has a home run with this. I understand now, as of recently, I've gotten into Shirogorov. I really understand the intense fandom of these knives. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you on the next one.